What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, I do have to go ahead and apologize because I will not be showcasing any classic Call of Duty gameplay today. Sadly, I'm going to have to show you guys some Modern Warfare 2 2022 gameplay. Now, I will showcase the new version or the remake version of Dome and stuff like that, but the reason I have to showcase this gameplay is because I haven't really been grinding out any OG classic CODs, you know? When it comes to games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I like to get every last dollar's worth out of it, and when there's free content, like free weapons and stuff that I can grind, even though it's not that much, I'm still going to go ahead and attempt to get it. And, of course, I want to get it before Season 4 drops for Battlefield 2042, because once that drops, I'm probably going to end up chalking those weapons regardless. So I'm grinding right now for the ISO. I might try to unlock the shotgun as well, so on and so forth. But I got to be honest, once the new season drops for Battlefield, I don't think I'm going to be really dabbling too much in this game anymore. But ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Call of Duty, the news just keeps getting juicier and juicier. As I always say on this channel, and everybody's going to go ahead and call me crazy, but like I said, I'm just trying to go ahead and prove a point. I always say to never expect that the worst has already come with Call of Duty, because that's not the case. Even when the newest news and newest information that comes out seems absolutely devastating, like, oh my god, this is the worst of the worst of the worst. It's no possible way it can get any more worse. You can't think that way, because it always can. I've been proven time and time and time and time and time again that when it comes to COD, at least, these developers, they're very interesting. When it comes to how they design their games and their egos behind the games and their decisions, so on and so forth. But here we are again, and as I said, it gets worse. For those who don't know, when the new season dropped for Modern Warfare 2, Season 2, they introduced a handful of new game modes, one of them being gun game. Now, of course, I do have to put in a little side rant here. I do not understand why it takes so long to put in games or game modes that have been in pretty much every single Call of Duty game now. These are game modes that have been, like gun game and, all this other stuff. One in the chamber, if they go ahead and, like all of those party modes should be mandatory and already included into every single Call of Duty experience. I'm so sick and tired of them returning these game modes and considering them new content. Every single year, they do the same thing. They recycle the game modes and say it's new content. They recycle like a crossbow and say, oh, here's the crossbow mid-season, new content, even though they do the same thing. Every single game, Season 1 or Season 2, they introduce a freaking crossbow, a complete waste of space and time, because it should be in the game at launch, but they do it every single time. It's like, it just makes no sense sometimes on why they just won't just make a single Call of Duty game and just keep everything in it. I'm so sick of them trying to recycle this crap and consider it new, but I'm sorry. I had to put that side rant out there because it just blows my mind that they do things like this. But in gun game, oh boy, you all are going to really enjoy this treat right here. Infinity Ward, I guess, just had the nerve, or just felt like it was more implemented better. You can hear me right now. I'm speechless because I literally don't know what to say right now. I absolutely don't know what to say because my mind is blown. But in gun game, the classic minimap is back in Modern Warfare 2. So if you go to that overall experience, yes, you will have a classic minimap that we, the community, have been begging for. Since Modern Warfare 2019 first came out, and now we're in Modern Warfare 2, and they claim that they heard all of our feedback. That was one of the biggest points, one of the biggest things in Modern Warfare 2019. They refused to fix it. Then they claim they hear us with Modern Warfare 2, yet they refuse to fix it again. And then they have the nerve to add it into gun game. I mean, this right here is the biggest slap in the face to the community I have ever witnessed in my whole life. I mean, just imagine complaining about this being an issue within their game time and time and time and time and time again. And they keep saying that it can't be implemented. It's going to be a problem. It's no way they can implement it and it'll work properly. They will go through everything in the world to make sure that the minimap is not given to us because it's so game defying. It will literally kill the whole experience. That's how much they fight for this. But then they turn around and they instantly add it right back into another game mode that they add into the game. And this isn't even the first time that they've done this. I mean, back in Warzone 1, when that first came out, they had red dots on the minimap then. And honestly, I don't play Warzone enough now, Warzone 2, to even know. But I bet you the minimap still has red dots on there now. I don't understand where the ego comes from. Why won't they just add the red dots back on the minimap? Treyarch does it. They did it so easily, and then Sledgehammer comes around and they introduce a perk as an alternative to the minimap, which at the time I was still mad about, but I was a little accepting because I was like, okay, maybe this is the direction back to the minimap. It's like maybe this is the middle ground. They heard our feedback and they're like, oh crap, they really want a minimap. We'll just do a middle ground, and the next game will revolve the game around the minimap. And here we are, and they kept the same perk. Instead of just adding the minimap, they kept the perk that makes the minimap work normally. It's so stupid. It's a freaking minimap. Why are you making it a perk? I'm so lost right now. It's like, again, I use Battlefield as an example all the time, but really, they are just a fantastic example. They introduced 3D spotting again into Battlefield 2042, which, once again, is pretty much the same exact, level of, game-changing as having a normal minimap in COD. Being able to 3D spot is the equivalent of having red dots on the minimap in COD when, you shoot an unsilenced weapon. It's the same exact level. Yet DICE listened to feedback, and again, it's controversial too. Not everybody loves 3D spotting. It's not like it's the most popular thing in the world, but they listened to the community and they still added it in. They listened to the majority, and it's working. It's not like it's bad. It's not like it's game changing, not horrible. And the same thing will be with the red dots. It's not like everybody in the world likes red dots. It's hardcore players out there. People who play hardcore hate red dots on the minimap, so not everybody likes them. But changing it in core is not going to kill the game. It's only going to, improve upon it, make people shut up and play the game. And the people who don't like red dots won't give a crap because they've been playing the game since day one where the minimap already worked. It's no different for them. It's like, it's the stupidest thing you could ever imagine. And it's a proven fact that red dots on the minimap improve the Modern Warfare experience. I've tried it back in Modern Warfare 2019. It was phenomenal. And honestly, I'll try it in Modern Warfare 2. I can go into a private match and see if it's available and see if it works there. But back in 2019, you go into a private match, you turn the radar on. Well, not on, but have regular mini maps and get a 6v6. It's, it's still the same game. It was very, that was a rough designed game for me personally. But at the end of the day, it had better flow. It had way better flow. And the same thing will go for this game right here. I promise you, it will have way better flow. It's driving me nuts right now. You see, because for me personally, when it comes to this game right here, Modern Warfare 2, realistically, really for me right now, I just want a lot more content, and I could probably play the game a decent amount more. But another thing that's really wanting me to just stray away from this game is the ego. It's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. Like, that alone makes me not even want to touch it, even if the game is polished off, even if the guns feel good, even if the movement has been toned down, even if I enjoy the new map designs, even if the game gets stuffed with content in the future a year down the road and it's packed. The ego of these freaking developers is horrifying. I have never seen a team just ignore their community as much as Infinity Ward and just throw them under the rug and just completely, like I said, ig them. It actually took to the point of the community, big top dogs, leaving the game just for them to add one map into the rotation. Can you imagine how much this community will have to do in order to get everything changed? The whole community would have to quit. There would have to be not a single person making content in order for them to actually listen to our feedback. And that disgusts me. That disgusts me. It really does. Look at Battlefield 2042. Again, I know I use that as an example, but the game popped off. They had no reason. They had no reason to listen to us. They really didn't. They could have completely cut production of Battlefield 2042. They could have, made mediocre seasons up to the final season, cut production, and got their check. They already made absolute bank on the initial sales and the pre-orders of that game. They didn't even need to go any further. They didn't. They really truthfully didn't. They could have just cashed out, just like how COD does every single year. But they didn't do that. They are taking L's left and right. They're fixing problems left and right. And honestly, they're becoming just a massive dub team, in my personal opinion. Just dubs after dubs after dubs after dubs after dubs. And it's all because, guess what? They listened. Who would have imagined listening to the community and doing what they're complaining about would actually make them stop complaining? Now, I know COD, players are a little stubborn and all, but trust me, if you put the mini-bat back in the game, they wouldn't be complaining about that. Well, some people would, but the mass majority would be very happy. I'm at a loss of words. I really truthfully am. But ladies and gentlemen, do me a massive favor. Go down in the comment section and leave your opinions down below. How do you feel about all this information here? Are you angry about it? Is it okay with you? Are you happy? I don't know, man. At this point, I'm not even fazed by all this crap, even though, I love to put a rant out on YouTube every once in a while when it comes to this Call of Duty stuff and all this drama. But honestly, I've really moved on. I play a ton of different games with Battlefield, Halo, and a lot of other games that are coming out. I'm going to be grinding the heck out of them as well. When I want my Call of Duty fix, I typically hop on an OG Classic. It's just the way it goes, to suffer through the skill-based matchmaking fest and also suffer through, all this bull crap with the lack of content. It's just not worth it. And trust me, it's sweaty on these old school CODs as well. There's still people who only played these games at launch and still play them till this very current date. But it's way more enjoyable than going ahead and torturing and suffering through a modern COD experience. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. Moments I hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new and enjoy the content, subscribe to that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, this too, we do so out Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch, with this in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.